uh, yeah. Oh. Ah! That's so weird. Hold on. It's... Hold on. I need to copy my... I don't know if I can copy my stuff over. Oh, crap. Noise suppression. Static? Yeah, you guys are getting my laptop right now because none of my filters are on. I'm sorry, I'm putting them back on right now. It should sound a lot better in a second. I think you guys are looking at the sound going up and down. I think you guys can actually hear Damien upstairs right now. I just saw it bumping up and down with the bump, bump, bump of his tiny devil feet. Negative 37, negative 35, 25, 200, 150. Negative 30. Mike set up ASMR right now. F them kids. Yeah, see, you guys are getting, you're getting my filters coming onto the mic bit by bit because I set up my mic so that you wouldn't get my loud computer noises. Compressor. Oh boy, I'm gonna screenshot this. No way I can remember all these numbers. I have, so yeah, I've set up my mic very specifically because I have it so close to my computer. I was like, I don't want, sorry, there it is. I was like, I don't want to be loud and annoying. Well, I want to be just loud and annoying enough. It is 3, 6, 0. So it's weird because I can still see my mic in OBS. It's in the audio mixer and it's there. It's just not picking up anything. So what I did is I just added a new audio input capture and clicked my mic and that worked. I don't know if, oh, wait. What if OBS went and changed its default mic, the webcam mic, because that's still plugged in. I wonder if that, what happened? Mic. Hold on, it might double me, and I swear to God, if it's super, I'll stop in a second. I just want to test it. That is exactly what happened. Okay. We're good. Yeah, because I was like, why is my mic in auxiliary? Because it was picking up earlier, actually. And so I was like, why isn't it working now? Because I tested everything. I was like, why isn't it working now? Why isn't it working now? So I was confused. But yeah, then when I added, and so I plugged and unplugged my mic twice, and it didn't do anything. And then I... Ow, please! Wait, are you hearing double now, or is it okay? hold on. Oh god. My pop filter just fell off. Please. I just want to stream. Okay. But yeah, so I there. Woo! Yeah, so I added the audio input and then it picked up right away. So I was like, okay, it's not the mic. It's not the cable. It's not the mic. What's going on? It has to be OBS. Okay, but we're all good. We're all good. Oh my god. Woo! Woo! Welcome, welcome. Yeah, so I let's see. I'm still at my kitchen table because I didn't want to move my whole setup. I don't think I'll move the setup actually until like Saturday maybe for Mario Sunshine. But it's weird being in a chair. I don't know what to do with this. But so I'm in my new place now. Obviously, this isn't my first stream in my new place because I couldn't wait to open my HoloLive cards, which are still, all the trial decks are still on the ground next to me. I know, I'm in a chair. It's very cozy. It's not really cozy. It's wood, but but it's good enough. But yeah, so I'm in my new place now. It was kind of a process. So last week, what was it? Last week, I was sort of doing my wrap up with Mama Moose and Papa Moose and making sure everything was good. I'm not desk or cardboard box. No, it's a kitchen table. See? It's real. It's not cardboard. We had like a big we had to like run to the storage unit a lot and make sure all my stuff was safely packed in there. And well, like the stuff I don't need that makes more sense just to stay there until I know if I'm gonna stay out here or move back in like 6 months or so. And so we had a lot going on last week, and somehow in all of like the craziness and the back and forth and us all being kind of stressed out by how much we had to get done before I left, Mama Moose somehow messed up the time of my flight. And so she told my dad, she was like, oh yeah, like, we were all sitting around and she was sort of getting it. She was like, why don't you have this done? Why don't you have this done? And I was like, I'm gonna do it. Like, why is she freaking out so much? And then as Papa was going to bed, she was like, yeah, okay, we need to be heading down the driveway at like 7 a.m. And I was like, why? I was like, are you crazy? I was like, why would we need to do that? And she was like, cause your flight is in the morning and you need to get there ahead of time. And I was like, my flight is in like the late afternoon, early evening. What? And she was like, wait, how did this happen? And Papa Moose is really sad because he actually made a doctor's appointment that he like could not miss for later in the day, specifically around when he thought he was gonna be bringing me to the airport. And so it was just me and Mama Moose. He couldn't come. He had to go to his doctor's appointment. He was really sad. I felt really bad, but it was just the two of us. And I had like my two big suitcases full of stuff that I needed, because I had one suitcase that was like mostly like streaming stuff, and like it was like the arm for my microphone and my microphone itself, and like my tripod and like a bunch of other stuff. And so I had one suitcase that was full of wires and stuff like that, and then my other suitcase was just like stuff like clothes, like normal things. And then I had my cat, who was also along for the ride. And then I had my backpack, which I had my work laptop and my streaming laptop, both in there, and my Switch, and my 3DS, and my off-brand e-reader. No, my two work laptops, or my two laptops, one work laptop, one stream. My cat wasn't in the suitcase. No, she was in a carrier. So I was like loaded up, and that was sort of the whole point. That was why like Mama Moose really wanted Papa Moose to be there with us, because she was like, we need some extra horsepower, but then it was just the two of us, and we were like, ugh. Off-brand. Yeah, I have an e-reader. I sort of around the time when like libraries shut down for a little bit. I've never been an ebook person like before that, but when the library shut down and they weren't like, they were still doing book pickups, but like you had to like basically put in for the book, and then you had to go in and pick it up, and they had to do like a bunch of like sanitation stuff on the books afterwards. And I live, so the town where I'm from is like primarily really old people. Like when I go to the library, I'm like the youngest person there by like 30 years. And that's what it was like at like my tree identification class and everything too. Like I am the babiest baby in my town. And so I was like, I don't want to like roll in and get a bunch of library books when like I'm pretty sure there's like a bunch of older folks who might actually still like need to go there. And like some kind of super baby. Library is also the bingo hall, correct? And so I was like, well, I've never had an e-reader before, and I'm sort of I really like I like this like smell and feel of books. Like I like turning the pages. And so that's why I never wanted an e-reader, but I was like, well, it's like, if it's that or no books. Like I can get audiobooks for some books, but not every book has an audiobook version. So I got audiobooks of what I could. And then like anything I couldn't, I found a ebook version, and I found an ebook because I didn't want to buy a Kindle. So I looked at all of the like the name brand ones. I looked at like the Kindle, and the Nook. And like they were fine, but the Kindle was like really the only Kindle version that had, so I need like a tactile thing. Like I felt weird about just like pushing or swiping the screen. Like I wanted a button to press, because that's sort of I feel like I need like something to tell my brain, okay, like I'm going to the next page. So I needed an action like turning the page, and sort of pushing a button that clicks was like what I decided would work for me for that. And I think it just helps me like stay focused. And so when I was looking at the Kindle, a boomer e-reader, yes. Yeah, the touchscreens is just like, they're fine, but I didn't feel like it would give me the same like joy of turning a page, if that it wouldn't give me like the slight bit of brain juice of turning a page that I feel like is like part of reading a book. And so the only Kindle that had the buttons was like the most expensive one. And it wasn't just, it was like, well, you can get like the crappy Kindle that has like no memory space and no backlight, and like it's really small and the battery life sucks. And that's like the first option. Yeah, you need the feedback from reading. But then the second Kindle version was like, oh, well, now you have a backlight and there's more space and it like can connect to 3G or 4G or whatever it was. And I was like, well, I don't need that. And then the most expensive Kindle was the only one with buttons, and it was like ergonomic and a different design, and it has buttons and also is waterproof and it comes in gold. And I was like, I don't need any of those. I just want the buttons. I was like, I just want to click the buttons. So I was like, okay. And that one was like ridiculously expensive. And so then I was like, okay, let me go look at the Nook. And I forget what was wrong with the Nook. I think the Nook had like some weird... It may be intentional, yes. I'm guessing so. And then the Nook, I forget if there was a Nook version with buttons. If there was, like, there was something weird with the Nook, like, I wasn't gonna be able to use certain types of ebook formats on it, and I was like, but I get my books from the library, like, and when you get them from the library, sometimes you just get an EPUB version, and then other times they make you go through sort of a song and dance to remove the like digital rights stuff. Well, not remove, but like manage the digital rights stuff so that your e-reader can read it. And I heard that Nook, like, what's the Nook being sold by a tanuki with children and a lead pipe? Yeah, it wasn't gonna be able to like read the types of files I needed to read, and so I was like, well, I'm not gonna get a Nook. But then I found, and I think it's gotten more popular since then, but like back when I bought it, it was sort of the like, this is the brand that nobody uses. So I got something called a Kobo. Whenever people ask me, when people see me with it, they're like, oh, is that a Kindle? And I'm like, no, it's a Kobo, which sounds like a fake Kindle. I think they're more popular now because people started getting them because of the because of needing to wanting to use it with their library systems, because they're basically set up to use with your, oh, it's been popular for a while. Okay, I don't know anything. But like they're basically set up to use with your library system, because the e-reader program that most libraries use is... Ooh, ooh! Sorry, there's a gigantic raven outside. Hello, sir. Sir? Oh, he's so big. He's a big boy. Ah, he's so cool. Got the sharp beak. Sheesh. Anyway, I heard you talking shit on Kindles. But yeah, basically, Kobo the Hololive ID girl. But yeah, basically, Kobos are like, there's a the app that most libraries use for like managing their ebook stuff. It's called Overdrive. A lot of libraries use it, and Overdrive has like ebooks and Moose's cat-like tendencies gets distracted by birds. It was right there. It was like right outside my window, just sitting there. So they have like ebooks, and Overdrive has a bunch of other stuff too, and they're like, most libraries actually use multiple systems. So they have like Overdrive, they have Cloud Library, they have, I think Libby is owned by Overdrive, maybe. They have Hoopla. Like there's a bunch of services like that, but Kobo actually like is connected directly to Overdrive. So whereas with books that you borrow through Cloud Library or Hoopla, you have to download, and sometimes you have to put them like through like Adobe digital editions or whatever it's called, and then you can transfer them onto your e-reader from there. Like Overdrive, if you have a Kobo, you can just click like borrow from Overdrive and it just gives you a list of all of the books available, and you put in like your library card number. You put in your library card number and like what your library is, and it just connects to Overdrive, and then you can go in and it gives you all the books that are available from your library on Overdrive. And as long as you're like on Wi-Fi, Overdrive and Hoopla sound like things you would want to avoid in a library. You'd think so, but Hoopla has like a ton of Hoopla is usually where I get my audiobooks from, because they have a really good like interface, and you can download the audiobooks to your phone, so you can listen to them when you're not online. So that's what I actually listen to a little bit of my audiobooks on the plane, because I did that. But yeah, you can just like open your Kobo. Sorry, I'm sitting here, I'm like, the public library. But so you can open your Kobo and hit like borrow from Overdrive and e-girls or iLadies. And it just gives you the list of books, and you just click on the book you want and you hit borrow, and it just downloads it like straight from there. So you don't have to hook your e-reader up to your computer. You don't have to do anything. You can just basically manage all of it right on your e-reader. And because like Kindle is made and owned by Amazon, they obviously don't want you doing that, because they want to sell you books instead of instead of you borrowing them. So that's what I like about Kobo, is it's like very like library friendly, whereas the other two are from companies that want you to buy books instead of borrow them, so it make it really hard to use library books. So yeah, if you're a library person like me, the Kobo is really good for like library stuff. So I have a Kobo, and I got it on like sale. It was like half the price of a Kindle, and I really like it. But so I had that with me. So I basically had like 5 giant electronics in my backpack, and my cat, and 2 giant suitcases. So Mama Moose and I got the suitcases, which were like barely light enough to not charge more money. We got those checked in. And then I went to go through security, and I had to take out all 5 of my electronics. They wanted them all in different bins. I had to take my cat out of her carrier and put the carrier through the x-ray. And then I had to carry my cat in my arms through the metal detector. And then we got to the other side, and they were like, yeah, something in the cat case is setting it off. We have to put it back through. And I was like, okay. And so they don't just like put it back through right there. Like they put it back at the back of the line of the stuff that's currently on the conveyor belt. Like you have to wait. And so I was standing there holding her, and she's getting more and more like her claws are sinking deeper and deeper into my flesh. And I was like, please, I just want to put her down. And then when it came through, it got picked up again for something in her carrier, and it came through, and they were like, we don't know what's setting it off. And I looked at her and I was like, what did you pack? And none of them thought I was funny, and finally they just gave up, and they're like, whatever, like we can't find anything, here's your thing. So I got her back in there, which she did not want to do. And I had to reassemble my backpack of like 5 giant electronics. And I went to... I got to my gate, and there was a row of seats with a lot of bags sort of all over the seats. But there was one seat that had no bags on it. And I was like, okay, so that one's free. People must be sitting... There must be like groups of people sitting in the other seats. Okay. So I went and I sat in the one open seat. I had like my bag on the floor and my cat in my lap, and I was sitting there. And then like 5 like older Chinese ladies came back, And it turns out I was in the middle of all of their stuff. I had just parked like right in the center of like their territory. And they were just like all yelling at each other, and I was sitting in the middle with my cat like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. So I was ruining their girls trip. And then I think like 3 more ladies showed up later. So I was just sitting there in the middle like, I can move. But none of them asked me to move. They were all very cool about it. They all just sat around me and just like kept yelling at each other, and I was just sitting there with my cat like, I look like I'm lost. Like I look like I'm a lost kid. And they're all trying to figure out who I belong to. But then I got on the plane, and that was mostly okay, except the mom picked me up. I'm scared. The flight attendant came up. She was like going down the row and asking people what they would want to drink after we took off. And I was like, can I have a mimosa? Because I was like, it's like a Friday. I was in the vacation mood. She was like, I'm going on a plane. Like, I was feeling good. And I was like, can I have a mimosa? And the lady looked, she's like, I'm just going to pour some orange juice into some wine. And I was like, okay. I guess. Sure. Why not? So she did that. I only had one. Both because it was both because my cat started freaking out and I started panicking. So I was like, oh no, she's upset. And also because it was a very odd drink. The lady next to me had 4 Chardonnays. And every time my cat would start freaking out and trying to push her way out of her case, and I would have to try and like wrangle her back in and re-secure it, she looked at me like I was a worm. And I was like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you're next to like this goblin and her cat when you're here drinking a Chardonnay, just trying to have a good time. But I did get to I did get to watch some Twitch streams and engage with chat from, was it like 30,000 feet? How high up is it? I got to do that. The video quality left something to be desired. You should have just ordered raw tequila. I don't want to know what would have happened. Yeah, it was a Twitch slideshow. I eventually had to cut the red wire. I eventually had to turn it into a podcast, but that was okay. It was fun, but I was also like, if the lady next to me thinks I'm a worm now, if she looks over my shoulder while I'm watching VTubers, I don't want to know what she's gonna look like. I don't want to know what sort of face she's gonna make. The flight was actually, it was pretty okay. I don't like flying. I don't like airports. I don't like flying. I don't like crowds. So she's just gonna ask who the cute fox is. That's true. Yeah, I'd be like, lady, come on, are you kidding me? Do you see these girls? What's the problem? I do not like traveling, and so yeah, so I was having a rough time, but I got to watch some Twitch. I read a little bit. I downloaded a bunch of that's the other thing is you can download previews of books from Overdrive. So if you're like, I want to borrow this, but I don't know if I want to borrow it. I was like, I want to test drive it. You can download like a 50-page preview. So I downloaded a bunch of those and I read those on the flight. I played a little Kirby. I was chill. Other than my cat having a panic attack the latter half of the flight, I was kind of chilling, so that was nice. I want to test drive my book rental. Yes, see? It's important. VTuber viewing in public is some real bravery. I'm nothing if not brave. I'm nothing if not a coward. It was good. When I got to the other, when I landed though, so I was getting picked up by my friend, who was 30 minutes late, despite me constantly sending messages, with like, oh, it's getting in at this time, it's getting in at this time. It was 30 minutes late, and so I was trying to wrangle my 2 almost 50-pound suitcases and my gigantic backpack and my cat, all while trying to keep an eye on everything. And there was some, I don't know what was going on. There was something going down with like, I don't want to speculate what was going on, but there was some girl who was being like, I couldn't tell whether she was being arrested or what, but it seemed like there was some kind of situation happening like right next to me, and I was trying to like steer clear. There was just a lot happening, and I was like, where are you? But eventually I got out of there, and I got to my apartment. The apartment's nice. It's so I really liked my old place. So my old place was actually on a river. And you can't really see it. You can't really see the river like in the spring or the summer because the leaves are all on the trees. But in like the fall and the winter, you can see the river really well because all the leaves are off the trees. So I always really liked my view there. Can't believe someone trashed it with Hololive cards. Yeah. But like I was like I liked my old place. I always felt like I had like it didn't it was a good size. And the square footage here is roughly the same size, but for some reason it just feels bigger. Like when I was looking at it before, and I didn't actually get to see this unit when I was looking before. They showed me like a model unit. I don't know why I was under the impression. I was like, oh, like it looks sort of like it's gonna be exactly the same size as my current place. Well, that's the thing is I'm not completely unpacked yet, but I have most of my bigger furniture here. So I have both my couches here. I have my bed. I have my desks and tables, my big Game of Thrones coffee table. I have like a lot of my, and my shelves are all here already. So I have a lot of my bigger furniture, and I don't know why I was under the impression like, oh, it's like pretty much the same size. And I mean, I think it is technically. I don't know if it's the layout that makes it feel bigger. It just feels really big. And I think it's like in my old place, you walk in and there's like the living room and the kitchen, but then there's a hallway, and when you go down the hallway, both of the bedrooms, like my bedroom and then the office, were both on the hallway like next to each other. And then here the bedrooms are on different sides of the apartment. So like one bedroom is like off the living room, and then the other, and that's the bigger one. That's what is a stream room in progress. And then the other one is like on the other side of the apartment. Yeah, downsizing probably helped. But it's on the other side, so you go down like a separate hallway to get to it. And I think just not having the bedrooms like smushed next to each other kind of helps, because it makes it feel more like rambling, I guess. It makes it feel bigger and more spread out. I think there's also less walls. Like the kitchen opens up into the living room, whereas it was pretty much closed off before. So it just, I don't know, it feels really big. Like when I got here, I walked in, I was like, whoa. I was like, I don't remember it looking this big. Stream room or scream room, who can say? But yeah, it's pretty nice. Also the view. So the view, it's not a river like my last place, but it's like a big field. It looks kind of marshy. Like I'm not really sure what's down there in the field. But it's like a field and trees. And it's really quiet, but it also it feels really private because there's no like walking trails or anything back there. It's like it looks like a nature preserve, basically. It looks like I've been like plopped down into a nature preserve. So it's really nice. I mean, obviously I hear my neighbors sometimes. Is the stream room facing the other apartment next door? No. No. That was the other reason that I wanted to put the stream room into the big main bedroom. Is because that is the bedroom that doesn't share walls with anybody. Whereas the guest bedroom does share a wall with the apartment next door. And I was like, that's fine. Like, I just hope nobody like wakes me up at any weird time. But I was like, it's gonna benefit everybody if I have the stream room in the room that does not touch any other walls, so that I don't holler and scare somebody. Is your stream room bigger than the bedroom? Yeah. So that's the thing is, so the stream room, which I basically turned it into just like, it's kind of everything. So like I have my display case in there right now, but I'm still waiting on my other shelves to show up, to put my Koro-san stuff up. So I have my display case in there, and I have my couch in there, and then I have all my consoles on like a little, what are they called, like a TV stand sort of thing. I don't have my TVs yet. I have one small TV that I'm using in my bedroom right now to like watch movies and VTubers and stuff while I fall asleep, but I don't have any other TVs set up. But I'm gonna put, so that's the thing, is I'm gonna, my living room, so in my old place, my living room kind of was where I played games. Because I had like my coffee table, and then I had my TV and all my game consoles up against the wall. But eventually it started feeling kind of cluttered, especially because I have like a lot of controllers and all sorts of stuff, and not really any good place to put them. So here I'm trying to keep the living room a little more clean. So I have like my shelves in here, but I don't know how much of my game stuff I'm gonna have in the living room. Like I might just like put my stream setup. I mean, my stream setup is gonna be in the big bedroom, but I might also just put all of my game consoles and stuff in there as well, and just make it my game room in general. So I'll play games in there even when I'm not streaming. Because that was the other thing, is when I moved the stream setup into my office before, because I didn't want people to like have to trip over it whenever they came over. I every time I wanted to play a game, I would have to go unhook whatever game console I was going to use from my living room, because that's where I played games. Like I didn't want to, especially because my stream setup was like on a
cardboard box. And I was sitting on the floor. That's like not where I played games. So I would take the console back out to the living room and I would sit on my couch and play like a normal person. But then I would bring it into the office when I wanted to stream. Here, I kind of just want to leave everything in one place so I don't have to ferry it around so much. So I think I'm just gonna make, and what's cool about the big bedroom is it actually has a bathroom like attached to it. So especially if I like invite people over to play games, like if I invite people over to play Mario Kart and then bury them in the marsh behind my apartment, everything is sort of in there, and it's like right off the kitchen too. So like we can pretty much just hang out in this like game room situation that I have set up that will happen to have my stream set up in it as well. And then like the bathroom's in there and the kitchen's right here, and it's like nowhere near like my bedroom, which is where my cat likes to hide when people come over. So it just works out. It works out. And then I have the living room for like, you know, when like Mama Moose visits and for work, well, not working. I'll probably work at my desk. Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, so it's kind of neat. It's a much different setup than I had before, because my setup before was like the living room is the game room and the office is chaos. And but now it's everything is sort of in its own place. Now I'm gonna have like a room for playing games and streaming, and then I'm gonna have like a more like chill living room, and then yeah, it'll be nice. Baba is Moose. Yeah, it's so like you can kind of see the bones of everything right now because a lot of the bigger furniture is here. So like the couches are set up and my tables are set up and my cupboard, like I have a long like cupboard thing. Like they're all set up. Like that's all there. Really, it's just I don't have the smaller pieces. So I don't have like my TVs. I don't have like some smaller shelves that I was using. Trying to look around and see what I'm missing. Like, yeah, it's stuff like that. Yeah, and I won't have to sit on the floor to stream anymore, which will be nice. But yeah, I think once it's all set up, I think it's gonna be really nice. Because I'm gonna be in this like nice little dedicated room for streaming and also playing games, and I won't have to move all my stuff, and I think it's just gonna be very cool. I need this other van to get here. I keep calling them, I'm like, where are you? And they're like, hey! I did have a chair the entire time, but it didn't make sense with how my setup was set up before. Now it does. And now I can have a nice couch. Yeah, it's the layout's really interesting, but I don't know, I really like the view as well. And I'm actually on a trail. I haven't checked out the trail yet. I want to do that maybe because I get off work at 9 a.m. on Friday, so I want to maybe go for a little hike. Because I'm actually like right at the foot of a mountain, I think. I don't know much about the area yet. No, Sonic 06 actually got here. I found it. I found it when I was going through my boxes. Yeah, Sonic 06. Sonic 06 is here. Or is it? Oh no, it's lost. I'm so sorry. How could this happen? But is the 360? I haven't seen that one yet. It won't let you escape. I haven't seen the 360 actually. I will need to look around for that. That's sort of the problem, is by the end things were sort of getting just shoved in wherever they fit. And so there's a lot of things where I'm like, I know I packed this. I saw it. I packed it with my own two hands, but I'm not sure where it wound up. Don't try to back out of a deal you made. I know. But yeah, I think it'll be, and honestly, the internet is way faster than I was expecting. I was panicking a lot because I was like, I'm gonna have to be on like the weird local internet. Are we sure? But it's been really fast. So knock on wood. It's been pretty fast. My cat is not in a suitcase. She's napping in the other room right now. She's napping. She needed a break after all the excitement this morning. Looking at the Weiss cards again. When I woke up, a bunch of the Weiss cards were like all shifted around on the table, and I was like, you. Yeah, I really need to get out and explore the area. I keep meaning to, and then I'm like, oh, I need to take care of this, or I need to unpack this, or make sure this is all set up, and then I'm like, it's dinner time. And I haven't gone out and done anything I meant to. Mom keeps talking to the ghost people, that's true. But before it gets too late, yeah, I really need to like learn the area better. That's one thing that I haven't done, just because I've been so busy trying to like get it clean and nice in here. Especially because whenever the rest of my stuff shows up, I want it to have a good place to land. But yeah, I haven't seen the area. I have gotten takeout because I haven't felt like cooking a whole lot. I mean, I don't cook very much anyway. I don't cook like anything difficult. But it's interesting because like at my old place, where I'm from, a really popular restaurant genre is pizza and roast beef. Like specifically that combo. So, but I had some places, like I had a seafood place I was a regular at, and I had a Chinese place I was a regular at, and I had a bunch of places I was a regular at, but that combo sounds regional enough, it might be a dox. Maybe. Listen, I've said stuff before that I thought was so heavily regional it was going to snipe me, and then nothing came of it. So I don't fear anything anymore. So I was really used to like, okay, these are like that's true, small towns are weird. But I had like a few like restaurants that I was like, this is my restaurant. These three places are the places I go every week. And so I was sort of used to like, okay, I have seafood, I have Chinese food, and I have Thai food, and like that's my rotation. That's all we got. I want to Google pizza and roast beef. I was on TCG Play earlier, so that's what's open in my window right now. Do you know the Marine card I need is only $10? I know that now. Okay, well, I mean, I got a bunch of hits around me right now when I typed in pizza and roast beef. Where is this? Where are you? Are you near me or somewhere else? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're good. I do need that card. The Coruscant card I want is like $900, so no, a little bit different. But anyway, but here there's actually a lot of variety. that I didn't have. So there's a bento place, and I was able to get bento for lunch the other day. It was really good. I tested out the Thai. I mean, it's hard to mess up pad Thai, but the Thai place made really good pad Thai. There's a lot of like different types of food around here. Like there's a lot of like poke. There was a lot of poke when I lived in Southern California, but it was sort of it was slowly creeping into where I lived before. Like they actually there was a poke place that opened up and everyone was like, but we really didn't have it. But now there's a bunch of poke places out here, so I'm excited to get back into the poke swing of things, because yeah, there's just a bunch of stuff. I'm really excited to try more places. I already want to go back to the bento place, but I'm like, no, like that's the problem. Is when I find a place I like, I just go there. I just go there. Were they next to Montmartre? When I find a place I like, I just go there over and over. So I'm like, don't do it. I'm like, try the other places first. You have to try the other places. You can't just stick to one place. Just try the other places. Find the ones you like, not the one you like. So I'm still trying to stick to trying more food. But the poke place was really good. The bento place was really good. Do you not respect Koro-san enough to forfeit all monetary possessions? Fake fans, man, that's true. You're right. You're right, and I'll rectify it later. I was looking up the prices of the singles that I need. The marine single I need is like $10. What are the other? I think there's a Toa single I need. Oh, yummy Toa. How much are you? That's not the one I need. What's the one I need? Hold on. Oh, now this is a card shopping stream. We're making it happen. Ugh! Where's the one I don't have? Oh, the Toa sign's only $100. Let's go! Oh, well, one of them is. The other one is $470. Yeah, bye. The other one is $700. I'm sweating. Understood. Have a nice day. Sheesh. Back to the Twitter space we go. Want to say hi to Burger King? And what's up, Burger King? What's up, Burger King? Can I have a spicy chicken sandwich? The special art variants seem to always be the expensive card. Yeah, they definitely are. Before it gets too much later, I want to take my Duolingo test. I want to leave some time. So at 5 p.m. PST is so weird. But at 5 p.m. PST, 8 p.m. EST, I'm going to be collabing with Vesper, and we're going to smash and pass Dragon Age characters. I added a little something to the PowerPoint she sent me, so get used to PST. I'm trying. Maple, are you going to smash everyone? With a couple exceptions. I have a few exceptions. There's a few characters I don't like. But for the most part, it's gonna be pretty bad, yeah. But yeah, so I want to take that because I don't want to go right up until 5 p.m. PST. I want to like leave a little bit of time so that I can prep with her if, I don't know if, let's see, family friendly streamer who has an elven soul inside of them. I need to think of a sign to give you guys for people I think who have elf ghosts in them. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna be a stationary picture on the screen or if I'm gonna be moving. If I'm moving, I'll go. That messed me up. I'm gonna go. Let's see. I want to take my placement test, but yeah, I want to be able to leave enough room. Just say elf ghost and explain nothing. That'd be a very powerful, very powerful move. Here we go. Don't explain it. Yeah, I want to make sure that I don't take too long, because I want to be able to prep with her and not be like, hey, I just got off my stream. Here we go. So we're gonna take the placement test, and nobody's allowed to make fun of me because it's been so some background to really embarrass myself. So I took 4 years of Japanese. In the middle of that 4 years of Japanese, scream elf ghost with zero context. We are getting close to all of this happening. So I took 4 years of Japanese. In the middle of those 4 years, in my third year, I moved to Japan and I lived there for a year while I was still studying. For 6 months, I lived with a host family who didn't speak any English. And so I had to get, and they had really heavy kansai ben. So I had to get good at Japanese really fast. And I had to figure out kansai ben, which I hadn't really learned before that point. Do it at least once, please. Oh, I will. So, and around the point when I moved back from Japan, I could pretty much read books and play video games in Japanese without much difficulty. So I played Tales of Vesperia, the PS3 version. I played that in Japanese after I moved back, and it was like very smooth. Like I understood everything. I could read all the kanji. It was very easy. I read the Tales of Vesperia novels in Japanese, the ones with extra lore about Raven, my favorite character. Maple, hi Hadu. Maple, do you know you're cute? No, you're cute. No, you're cute. I wish I could throw. How do I throw the... Is this how this works? Yeah, I did it! I did it, it worked. I got it. So my Japanese, it was good. I would like to submit to the court that at one point my Japanese was really good. I could play games, I could read books. It was like very easy and pretty chill. I would not say I was like, so I'd say I was like N2. I couldn't like carry on conversations about like complicated, like I couldn't talk to you about the government or something, you know? But if I was, you know, watching a movie that, if I was watching like a movie that wasn't too cerebral, I could pretty much like, it was fine. Then I moved out to Southern California, and despite the fact that I started working for a Japanese company, I started using Japanese way less, because even though I was working at a Japanese company, I was mostly doing things in English, and a lot of my work wasn't really like writing based. Like I occasionally had to translate stuff here and there, but it was very minor and like very easy. I had Japanese coworkers, but they sometimes, a lot of the times, especially the coworkers who are like from Japan and are sort of like only in only in like the international office for like a short period of time. They're like, I'm here because I want to get better at English. Like, talk to me in English. I did have a roommate who was Japanese, but a lot of the words he taught me apparently were very what's the word? Like he was trolling me. And so everyone kept commenting. I've had people comment that my Japanese at this point kind of sounds like a weird old man's Japanese. I'm still really good at listening. I'm not good at reading, and I'm bad at writing. It's about, and I get really nervous when I'm speaking. So it was all of this Japanese, like I was at the peak of my Japanese skill a while ago. So it's gonna be bad. And that's the thing, is if you don't use it, you lose it. If you're not using it, you really do forget. People say that all the time, but like it's true. And it's weird because when I start trying to learn again, I've had false starts a couple times where I'm like, oh, I'll get back into learning, and then I get right back into it and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I remember all this. But it is always a little bit of a rough, it's a steep climb initially. So please keep all that in mind. I used to be good. I'm not good now, and I'm gonna be really embarrassed. So I'm sorry in advance. Take a test. It takes about 5 minutes and adapts to your level by getting harder or easier based on your answers. Great, thanks. Write this in Japanese 7. Nana. Yeah. Easy peasy. Africa. It is not 2 o'clock. What the? What kind of sentence is that? Ni jikan? No, ni ji. Oh, I'm just taking stock of everything I have. Three in a row, baby! The desk is over there. They are sisters. Kino wa nani o shimashita ka? What did you do yesterday? I walked from my house to the train station. That would be ie kara eki made arukimasu. Judges in audio only mode. All right, continue. I like juice. Juice wa suki desu. Eight in a row.
Michi wa mukou desu. The road? Mukou. Oh, here we go. What is this kanji, mukou? The road is... That doesn't seem right. Ah! I'm not cheating! Fuck! The road is over there. Okay. Kore wa chizu desu. This is a map. This Sunday, would you like to swim at the pool? Konshu no nichiyoubi. No. Nichiyoubi, pooru de pooru de oyogimasen ka? Boku wa ippon kudasai. One fork, please. Hajime ni. So first, a small... First, you must pass by a small bank. First, you pass by a small bank. It takes 2 days. Hana o orimasu. I sell flowers. I am a man. Watashi wa dansei desu. Today, I am going to climb a mountain. Yo wa yama ni one of these is moss. May I open the window? Mado mado o ake mo I... Oh, I guess it would be yoroshi desu ka. Oh no! I forgot the te! I forgot the te! Chotto matte ne! Akete mo yoroshi desu ka? Why was it boring? Tsumaranakatta. Or maybe you put the doshite first. That's the thing about Japanese sometimes. That's the thing about Japanese sometimes. It's like when you're just like talking, sometimes you can go back and forth on the
order of words, and it's really not a big deal. But then when it's like proper, like writing proper, it's like suddenly it's like, oh, that's not how it's said. So let's just say doshite tsumarata desu ka. There we go. Oh, another correct solution. Yeah, see, there you go. Doshite tsumaranakatta desu ka? Ah, wagaru. Isana? Oh, I live in a small village. Shisana mura ni sunde imasu. Wear a shirt. Please wear a shirt and tie. Wa imai desu. See, kanji's my biggest issue. I do not want a purple skirt. Murasaki. Oh, what's the Murasaki kanji? Murasaki iro sukato. Hoshikunai. Fuck! Murasaki no sukato wa hoshikunai desu. Okay, so I missed the no particle in there. My blouse is nowhere to be seen. Blouse. Oh. Watashi no. Why does this lady sound so sad? Watashi no blouse. Ga. Nowhere to be seen. Do. Oh. Watashi no blouse ga doko ni mo. Okay. I mixed up these two. Doko ni mo nai desu, not doko mo ni nai desu. Sumimasen. Would you like a receipt? Tell me the bad news, Chief. I tested out of 36 skills. Let's go. What's a lingot? I unlocked 29% of the Japanese course. What are the stories? Are you a language teacher? No! Clearly not. Okay, what did we skipped a bunch of stuff. So we skipped hiragana, we skipped all this. We're down to konbini. Ecology, thoughts, feelings. Was this like, what's this? What? checkpoint? Oh, you need the checkpoint. Oh, okay. So I'm at checkpoint 2. Woohoo! Woohoo! Yeah, where is the blouse? I don't know. That's not bad. That's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. I thought they were gonna throw way more kanji at me that I was going to get completely wrong. Konbini, like a convenience store. Konbini desu. Sorry, knocked something over. Woo! That's not bad. That's not bad. I feel good about that. I feel good about that, whatchamacallit, about that performance. I feel okay. I feel like the stuff that I missed, it made sense to me. Like, oh yeah, of course, I mixed up those two particles. I always have problems with particles too. Particles is like is the bane of my existence. Cause the thing is, I always wind up dropping particles quite a bit, like when I'm actually talking to people, and it's really not a problem because when you're talking to someone, it's more about like communicating than speaking in like perfect, proper, or whatever. And so a lot of times dropping particles is okay when you're talking, but then when you're me and you get into a really bad habit of it, you get into a really bad habit of it, and then somebody asks you what the proper way to say it is, and you're like, oxygen, helium, shit, those particles. Yeah, Konbini is a convenience store. So you get your right. It's like a Famima. It's like a Lawson. Ooh! There's a robin outside. He has a big fuzzy red belly. He's so cute. He's so fuzzy. Look at your fuzzy red dum-dum. I want to smooch him. He's just chilling. He's a chonky little guy on his little stick legs. I love him. You want to come in here, be friends? Want to come hang out with my cat? She'll love you. If I have to change a model from a moose to a cat, you mean like this? Look at, oh, he's all puffed up. He's all puffed up. Oh my gosh, my big friend out there. Oh, he's cleaning himself. I should do one of those, what's the thing when people, have like a camera, have like a camera set up, and it like live streams their yard or whatever. I feel like I could do that out this window, and bird watchers would delight. He's so cute. He keeps fluffing up his feathers. Oh my gosh. This is my live stream. He's looking at me. My live stream is look at all these fun bird friends I have. Well, because the thing is, I have a tree like right next to my window. It's like right here. So I can basically look. Oh, there he goes. I can basically look out, and he's like, I just got. If a bird lands in this tree, it is going to be 5 feet away from me. Look at all those chickens. Oh, they're so cute. But anywho, I'm gonna wrap it up so that I can go be available. Maybe prepare a few lines about elf ghosts. Get some stuff done. Sorry the stream was so short. But I still wanted to do like I'm here. My stuff's mostly here. This place is kind of cool, I guess. I'm alive, and here's my Duolingo embarrassment rundown. I didn't want to move it. That's why I moved it up. But yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be streaming. I think we're just gonna do it on Vesper's channel. So I will see you guys there for Elf Ghosts. I'm gonna have a lot to say. I'm gonna have a lot of opinions. I'm really nervous on it. Like, I don't know. I shouldn't be nervous. I am nervous. I don't know why I'm nervous. I'm nervous because I'm like, oh, I don't want to be like, I don't want to be like a weirdo. But I'm also like, I'm really excited to talk about Dragon Age. We love elf ghosts. Is the gremlin child still being a bother? He was quiet this morning, but he might be in daycare or school or something. I'm not sure. He was shockingly quiet today, which is now makes me nervous. Or maybe they just know they have a neighbor now because I've been making noise. So I've been hollering. We got a Twitter space and 2 streams. You know, I woke up and I had this giant mug of coffee and I was walking around doing stuff. I looked at my wife's cards. I was like, I want to figure out a deck, but I want to talk to people about it. Oh, I should try Twitter space for the first time. And then I got scared because I was like, I like wrote the title and I assumed that when I clicked it, it was going to let me like, I don't know, tweet and then choose to start it. But no, it was just like, no, I'm live now. And I was like, content, dude, baby. You don't want to be murked for having terrible lover options. Listen, it is bad. There are bad opinions, but it's okay. But yeah, no, it's been a good day. It's been a very chill day for me, honestly, even though I've gotten a lot done, but it's been pretty mellow, so I'm having a nice day. Double down is the only answer. I think that's probably what's gonna wind up happening. Because I have a lot of opinions, and I think I'm going to be overruled in a lot of them. But it's okay. Bad opinions are still my opinions, so I have to own them. Yeah, so that's gonna be on Vesper's channel. So I'm gonna go get ready. I'm gonna go psych myself up, make sure that we're all good for that. So I will see you there. Thank you for coming and watching me be incredibly successful at Duolingo, actually, much to my surprise. How many times should we expect to listen? Literally constantly. It's what I'm guessing. Literally constantly. Let me see who's live. I know that I'm only going to be down for 30 minutes. Only going to be down for 30 minutes. Oh, let's throw you guys to KK while I'm down for 30. Oh, she's using her cool retro model. Alrighty. I will see you guys then at Vesper's channel in 30 minutes. I'll see ya. Away to KK.